Hello, welcome back to my channel. I want to learn how to draw portraits. I've always wanted to learn how to draw people for the longest, and I could never find anyone who would explain how to. Until I found the Doodle Warriors course. When the course first came out, I was being a bit of a cheapskate, but once I seen them art, I wasn't getting anywhere. I loved the way the Angel's art looked. I was like, you know what? F it. When I seen Doodle Warriors, I was like, why not invest into myself? In the course, you're given access to the Doodle Warriors Academy, where you're able to watch live streams, and the coach is able to give you critiques. But you gotta pay a little bit extra for that. This course has 10 lessons, but I will go to the Doodle Warriors website to get more information about it. I really wanted to use Photoshop because that's what Angel uses.
What the hell?
And the brushes work differently in each software, but as you can see, the work can still get done. I personally used Procreate, the Apple Pencil Pro, and the iPad Pro. There also are different softwares to use, like Photoshop, Procreate, Clip Studio, Krita. Before you even start lesson 1, Angel talks about having a good mindset and not expecting yourself to make art that's perfect, which is obviously going to happen because we're new. It'll be like you start weightlifting and you get discouraged because you can't lift 300 pounds, but most people don't try and lift 300 pounds when they've just begun their fitness journey. They start easy. But for some reason, when people draw, they think it's just automatically going to click. When I was in lesson 1, I thought I would never get the layout right, but now I do it easy peasy and I understand it. You can't expect to be perfect at everything, which is kind of hard not to think that way when society tells you that you should be. Think about your favorite artists. They used to be in the same spot as you. Your bad art is going to help you create even better art. Please don't forget that and keep drawing. I personally get discouraged and compare my art to Angel's, but I always remember that he worked really hard to get to where he's at. This is what his art used to look like in the beginning of his journey, and this is what it looks like now. Like, you saw how beautiful that was. I also wanted to add, before I explain the course, that if it seems like I'm hiding details, it's because I don't want to share too much because this isn't my course. And it would definitely be a copyright infringement and it would be ethically wrong. I personally would be kind of annoyed if I worked super hard on a course and someone completely copied and regurgitated it. But you know a lot more. Especially without the creator's permission. I think you should get it from the creator himself because he can explain it the best. Anyways, let's start. I'll be going over lesson 1 and 2 because those are the lessons that I've done. We're introduced to the wayyyyy head, which is a simplified version of the human head, and this is a specific one that we use in this course. This is super important because it's like a blueprint for your finished work. If your finished piece looks like, so will your art. This model is a huge help throughout the course because it helps with perspective and proportions. In the course, Angel gives us a link so that we're able to move the model around in different directions, and that can help us with different references. Angel shows us how to draw the head in first, third, and side view. In the course, your background's supposed to be at 60% gray, but it's gonna be so weird editing it in this way if I... Okay, so first we're gonna choose our reference. So now we have one for tracing, one for referencing, and then your freehand. Our references are also only in black and white because we're learning about the structure of the face right now, not about the color. You don't want to make it too high, you don't want to make it too low. Think about the hair, think about the skull of the head. Then you draw some lines for the eye area, some more lines to make the jaw, lines for the cheekbones that connect from the chin to the ears. Then I kind of clean them up a little bit. Then I add some ears. Then I add the neck, then I draw the mouth, then I draw the nose, the eye area, and then I get this. As you can see, we have the glabella and the eyeballs. And if you highlight some of these things or shade them in, you can see that it adds some depth to it. And remember, when you're drawing the neck, make sure it's a cylinder because it'll make it look more 3D. Now you have to do all of that on the freehand side and get to the reference as close as possible. Think about your negative space. Think about the connections that you see in the face. For example, how far is the bottom of the nose from the top of the lips? Things like that. I wanted to add that under my freehand section in Procreate, I do actually put the traced section under that part, because when I went to check if my drawing is right, if you keep sliding back and forth from the freehand side to the reference side, your work will lose clarity, and it's so annoying. As you can see, my finished drawing is not sisters with the other drawing, it's more like cousins. Like, I feel like mine on the right, my head's a little off. I drew the head a little bit differently. The perspective is a little off for mine. I feel like I made mine go slightly up, and on the reference it's more straight. Do you see what I mean? Like, do you see that? The nose is slightly up, but at the same time, it's as close as I can get it. It's not going to be perfect. And if I keep doing it, it will look more and more like the reference. But you see, it's not exactly perfect, and it still looks somewhat decent. You should also be asking yourself questions like, is my nose in the right perspective? Is my jawline high or low? Because these little things can make or break your drawing. If you keep practicing this, your hand and eye coordination will get better and better. So please at least try and practice at least 30 minutes a day. Also, just because I draw mine this way doesn't mean that you have to. You could have a different way. I'm just telling you what my process is. I will say, when I first started, it took me forever to even get the tracing done. So if it takes you a while to get the tracing done and you haven't even got to the freehand, it's been a couple hours, that's okay. You're new to this. Just keep going and you will get better. Some tips that I want to say is to make sure that you are drawing from your shoulder. Make sure you are doing that, because you can get carpal tunnel, which is kind of scary, but I usually don't get pain in my wrist because I always draw from my shoulder, so be very wary of that. If you want to make sure like your proportions are right, flip your canvas, because it's like the inverted filter on TikTok. You're like, whoa, what is going on with my face? Like, it helps point out the imperfections. So if you think your drawing's off, just flip your canvas and you will see what's off with your drawing, and that would help a lot. Make sure that your lines are clear. We're not getting messy furry lines. This is not Teen Wolf, okay? Make sure your lines are clear. Also, please don't draw with the itty bitty teeny bitty tiny little brush, because when you try to build up your line, it's not going to look right. Make sure you're using a bigger size brush. There's nothing wrong with using lots of layers at first, and even still, I'm still kind of struggling with this. But don't make 50 million layers so you don't make a mistake. Try building the opportunity. Try building the skill so that if you make a mistake, you're able to erase it and draw it again. Don't depend on having the other layer. Oh, I got the other layer to fix it, because when you're drawing on paper, you can't do that. There's no tapping the screen with 2 fingers so you can redo your mistake. You take in your mistake and you fix it. Also, you may have noticed that all the references are men, and that's because Angel says like men have more square faces. Their faces are more prominent than women's. So like they can get away, the drawings can get away with looking more boxier compared to women's. Like women's faces, like if they're how can I explain it? Like if you make a woman's face look too boxy, it's not gonna look like a woman anymore. The drawing is just gonna look manly. So yeah, we're gonna draw women later in the lessons. Anyways, now we're gonna go on to lesson 2. So in this lesson, we're learning about the planes of the face. We're learning about this guy. He's in a sorrel head, but he's in a sorrel head that Angel specifically uses in the course, because the other sorrel head is a little bit more complicated. We don't really know how to break that one down yet in our head, so he made one for us. I don't know if I can really show that to you guys. But basically, this is like a puzzle piece. So you take what you see on those arrowheads and you apply it to your picture, to your reference. So when you do that, you're going to create the eye area, the nose area, the mouth area, the ear area, the neck area, the cheekbone area, and the hair area. I still kind of struggle with the hair a little bit. Like, it's kind of hard for me to see it in 3D sometimes. You're trying to make yourself see it as a 3D form, like it's 3D forms on the head. That way later on when we shade, it will look like a thing. It won't look like a flat, boneless, it just won't look good. So when we're drawing the hair, we're trying to make sure that it looks 3D. I don't know how else to explain that. I'm still working on that myself. Some references are harder to do it for me than others. This lesson kind of goes into more details. If I say what I did, I would just be explaining Angel's course. And like I said earlier, I think that's wrong to do that. But if you try and do it yourself or watch other videos, they would explain it a little bit better. Like, I don't want to say exactly what he said because I just don't think that's okay. But this is what it ends up turning up like. And I actually like doing this part. I think it's really fun. I like doing the cheekbone area, even though sometimes that could be a little complicated. I like it because in this lesson too, I feel like you can actually see this person become a person. It doesn't look like a whole robot mannequin looking thing. I'm working on lesson 3, even though I haven't put in a lesson 2 critique. Like I said, I didn't have the money for it right now. But I think if I was to submit, I would think that it would get approved. I will say I do kind of struggle with just trying to get the picture done. I need to stop doing that. Because if you look at this one that I finished in this one, I love this one so much better. Like, you can tell I took my time with this one. But before, when I first got to this lesson, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Now, it's still hard, but it's a lot easier than when I first started. Yeah, for this lesson, we're making sure that we're not doing expressions yet because we don't really know how to do that yet. That's it so far. If you guys want to see me draw more time lapses and references, put some in the comments or tell me what you want to see. I believe I drew, if you're into the Warriors, I believe I drew all of the lesson 1 references. So if you guys want me to upload all those, I definitely will. And thank you for watching, you guys. I'm really sorry if the video was all over the place. I'm not really good at this. I'm really new to this, and I'm sure you can tell from all the pauses and all the ums. And I really hope you liked my video, and please subscribe. Please follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I think I'm gonna try and start drawing lesson 3. I did do one video, but you can tell that drawing was a little rushed, so I'm gonna rewatch those videos again. I plan on making a Draw the Box series, and I will be making anatomy series. I want to know how to get better at my anatomy. I have been drawing some things, but like I said, I really struggle with procrastinating, so I'm going to be working on that. But on Reddit, I do see people saying for a con is that they think that the art is a carbon copy of each other. And which I do feel like if you're learning from Angel's art, it's going to look like him. It's going to look like his art, because, you are learning his way. But I do feel like once you learn the fundamentals, you don't have to draw it his way. You can start looking at other things, looking at other people's styles, and apply it to yours, or just looking at real references, looking at books. Some books that I would recommend is the Morpho books. I would get T.B. Choi's anatomy book. That one, I really like that one. I would get the Michael Hampton anatomy book. And even though those are not portraits, they do the Morpho books. They do have areas in there for drawing the eyes, the face. And Michael Hampton, he has areas in the book that talk about the face. So I would say don't just, if you're thinking about, I don't want my art to look like Angel's, I don't want it to look like everybody else's, which is super valid. if that's really a concern for you, I would still take the course anyway and apply what I learned from Angel to how the artists that you're looking at, how they're drawing their art. And you can like mix and match with it and see how you like it. That's what I would do personally. That's what I'm trying to do now. And like I drew some eyes. I made the video about it on my TikTok, and you can see that the eyes don't look anything like what Angel drew. They look realistic. I mean, I guess that's patting myself on my back a little too much because the eye drawing wasn't the best, but you get what I'm saying. Lastly, I want to say, no, this video is not sponsored. I just really I just honestly think Angel's art is so gorgeous. It's so pretty to me. I just want my art to look like that personally. I mean, maybe like a different, not exactly like that, but like, honestly, I really think it's so pretty. And I'm finally actually putting some work in. I brought this course back in 2021, and I'm just so mad at myself for not sitting down and putting the work in, because I would have been so much further than what I am now. But at least I am trying now. At least this year around, I will stop procrastinating. This video was supposed to be out in 2021, you guys, and it is 2024. Like, that is honestly so sad. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a nice day, and please comment about what you want me to do. I do also plan on learning how to animate. I think animation is so pretty. I can't wait to learn color theory and get further in Angel's course, and I will be making more videos. And have a nice day.